Hey guys, it's me, your host Superstar. Thank you very much for tuning in. Look what I got! It's the Stranger Things Demogorgon from Jazwares. I am so excited to have this in hand. I went to my local Smith's the other day and they had a bunch of the new Stranger Things figures in stock on the shelves, including Dustin and 11 from this same series. They also have the 4-inch figures, the Battle and something figures, Hunt and Battle, or Battle and Hunt or something. They're like the 4-inch world building figures because there's going to be play sets and vehicles and all sorts for those. But these are the higher end sort of 6-inch figures. These are $19.99 each here in the UK. So they're about the same scale and price as like the Marvel Legends line, Black Series for Star Wars, and very similar to like the Street Fighter line that Jada Toys is putting out. So it's that middle £20 sort of lower end of the collector scale, should we say. But this figure looks very, very cool, and I've been wanting a good Stranger Things toy line for a long time because so many people have tried it over the years, including McFarlane. McFarlane tried, McFarlane failed. Bandai tried, and I mean, they produced Eddie. At least they got us an Eddie figure, that's all I can say. But we got Bandai trying, and Bandai failed. So, Jazwares, it's all on you. You know what to do. Let's break this thing out of the packaging, guys, so we can get a closer look at this really cool-looking Demogorgon. I am so hyped for the new series. We are only a few weeks away now from Series 5. I had to think that it's 5, isn't it? God. Time has flown. I'm tempted to sit and do a rewatch of Series 4 again in preparation. I would like to revisit some of those episodes and see Eddie again. And obviously, and if I'm honest, I want to see how it ended off again, because I can't quite remember how it finished. Well, I do and I don't. So, like, I know this season's going to follow more or less straight on. So I'm thinking if we rewatch Series 4 again, we'll be ready for November for the first. Is it? I think November's the first part. But then we're getting it like over Christmas as well, aren't we? So it's going to be a fun couple of months on Netflix. I cannot get into this packaging because I'm loving them. But wait, the box is not safe. I have literally had to tear the crap out of this box just to attempt to get it out. So I forgot that we even got a stand with this. So you do get a really cool little base stand. And it's very nicely detailed. I like that a lot. Yes, because it's hard to get this out without going completely full rip mode on these. They're not easy to remove from packaging and put back. Let's put it that way. It's okay though. I always planned on taking this out of the packaging. I never wanted to have this as a boxed thing on my shelf. This was always going to be an unboxed item. Luckily, it looks like no rope ties, so we should just be able to pull the Demogorgon straight out. Which is nice. Ooh, come on. Ooh, that packaging does not want him to move. There we go. That was holding him in so firmly. Ooh, I like this. So it doesn't come with any accessories or anything because obviously it's just the Demogorgon. But his headpiece does come off and we do get an alternate head. So that's cool. So let me just remove this packaging and then we will jump down to the desk cam because we need to dissect this thing. It looks awesome. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm getting 11 or Dustin yet. I might try again. I might try and I might get the Dustin, just because I am a big Dustin fan. As you can see, I've got the McFarlane figure, for God's sake, and that is the worst one of the bunch. I did buy the Ghostbusters 4-pack back in the day. I'm tempted to get the new Dustin. I'm not too bothered for 11, but I might get the new Dustin just to have Dustin on the shelf, if that makes sense. He's my favourite character. So, but I'm just not a fan of the new face sculpts, sadly. But that said, I mean, monsters are always a good way to go, Jazwares. Keep doing these. And I tell you what, Vecna. I don't think we've ever had a proper good Vecna. And I imagine that someone like Jazwares that would do the multiple heads, hands, accessories, they would be able to do a kick-ass Vecna, wouldn't they? With all his tentacles and floating up in the air and stuff, they could really do Vecna. Alright guys, so here we are on the desk cam with the new Demogorgon figure. It does look pretty cool. Let's show you what came in the box. So we did get this alternate head. This is the closed head version of the Demogorgon. It looks like we're just going to pop the heads on and off, so we'll try that in a moment. And we also get a stand. Now the display base does have a little peg there, so we can use it on the little fig. And if I tip him upside down, you can see there is a little hole there ready for the fig. The other side is just the copyrighty kind of details, the details of the figure. But let's take a look at articulation on this thing, because I want us to be able to use this in our action figure dioramas, displays, and all that good stuff. Let me just amend this camera angle to accommodate for the size of the Demogorgon. Right, so, oh my god, I'm still not high enough. Damn. This is a big fig. This is really chunky. Once you stretch him out, his limbs will only go so far, but once you've stretched him out, he's a big boy. So the head is on a ball joint, so you can make him look up and down, and left and right, and there's plenty of full rotation there if you want it. And like I say, this is just a ball peg, so you can just pull this on and off. But it's nice that he's able to get a full range of motion in that neck piece. Now, if I pop that off, we can then see the neck itself doesn't really move. It's just this peg piece that's allowing the thing to go back and forth. That head came off super easy, but not too easy that it's just going to pop every time. And that did pop on very nicely. And again, pops off just very simple. So, nice, simple head change there. Now, we have got plenty of rotation here at the chest here, because we've got a nice rainbow butterfly hinge. Jesus. So it allows us to move his arm in and out, and obviously rotate as well. Also can lift out, down, so there's plenty of movement there as well. We can also rotate at the bicep as well, which is nice. There's an elbow hinge there, which is double hinged, so you can kind of wrap that round a little bit. It does have the hinge on the other side. Ooh, it will go, but I will need to warm that up before doing it, because I don't want to snap the fig. And then his hands as well are on little ball joints as well, so plenty of movement there. His hand is a kind of a grab position, and then the other hand is very similar. So I'm hoping they'll be able to grasp onto things, but I'm not quite sure. I wish we'd have got like an attack claw hand. Now, the waist here, we've got a nice diaphragm hinge that rotates really far back. Look at that. Plenty of range of motion there, which is awesome. And then there's a further waist swivel as well. I like this. Plenty of motion here. And then at the leg, we can move it around. We've got a top thigh cut there. That is nice. A nice top thigh cut. The leg moves outwards really well. We've got a double hinged knee here as well that wraps all the way around. And then we get a further, like, this is like a wolf's leg, you know, like a dog's leg kind of thing. So you can do that to get a different range of motion and different poses out of it, and it does stretch all the way out as well, so that's nice. And then there is the hinge on the foot as well, which has rocker and pivot, and it rotates back and forth with the display peg. Nice. That is a lot of articulation. This is a very modern figure with plenty of things going for it. And like I say, I like the fact that they gave us the alternate head as well. Not that I don't think who's going to be using that head sculpt. I think we're all going to be using this head sculpt, to be fair. And it's so nice. There's plenty of motion here, plenty of movement. It's just a great fig overall. The fact, like I say, that you can rotate this hinge as well, so you can rock that all the way forward, rock his legs all the way back, and have completely different posing, crouches. There's plenty of movement here for you to play with. Because, like I say, there's just such a range of motion there. You can crouch him down. Yeah, just overall a lovely, lovely figure for the collection. Now, let me just zoom out, because I want to attach him. He stands very well on his own, mind. But we do have this cool display base. So let's go ahead and port that foot into this base, like that. Not that you need this base, but it is just cool for the shelf to have something to secure him, I suppose. Again, I actually find him more uneven on the base, because it's just the one peg. But again, once you find that sweet spot, he is ready to go, and he looks stunning. Look at that. Look at that. That is such a good fig. I really like how they made it. See, he's more unstable, actually, on this base. When I stand him on my desk flat, he's fine. He's going nowhere. But it's when you that base is pretty uneven. But I do like the base. And the thing is, because it's got such a small peg hole, you can use this with anything. So let me, for example, there's Dustin from the old McFarlane line. Yep, that'll go. That'll do. So again, you can use this with more or less any figure that's got a display peg hole. The display peg holes on figures are kind of universal. Most figures have a very similar hole in the foot so they can be displayed. Now this is a Jada Toys figure. But yeah, of course we can't not do crossovers, right? Ah, it's like Scoob. I just love this toy overall. And I think if we want to, because obviously we want to look at some sizing, right? So I'll leave the camera zoomed in where it is. This is the Demogorgon how I would display it. So I've kind of got it in a position where he's not fully stood up, but he's not fully slouched. There he is at the side of the McFarlane Dustin figure. I think the McFarlane range is far too tall for this figure. This is more of a 6-inch scale figure, whereas the McFarlanes are nigh on 7 inches tall. So they are going to be completely out of scale with one another. And I think, yeah, Dustin just looked huge at the size of that. Let's have a go with the Bandai version. Again, I'm not sure. How tall is the Demogorgon meant to be again? I know he's kind of crouched there, but not too much. So again, he doesn't really even scale with the old Bandai, really, because I remember the Demogorgon's tall, right? It's taller than Hopper. So, yeah. And he is stretched out all the way, really, so... yeah, it doesn't really scale with them very well. That's a shame. But either way, it's just cool to see them side by side. It's cool to just have both figures in the collection. I am now intrigued as to whether the 11 and the Dustin are to scale with this Demogorgon, or whether this Demogorgon is just a 6-inch Demogorgon and they've not really bothered with scaling. Kids, if you're honest with ourselves, like these are aimed at kids, not collectors like them and love them, but predominantly I think these are aimed at a smaller age group or a younger age group. So maybe, they don't care about the scaling too much, but us as collectors do. And yeah, it would be nice if these were in scale with one another. But obviously, different companies. One's Bandai, one's, So I'm intrigued. I might get the Dustin now just for comparison purposes more than anything, and do a review on the humanoid figure at the side of this Demogorgon. What do you guys think? Would you like to see me review the Dustin figure for this line? Let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know your thoughts on that. And like I say, I am just happy to have this in the line finally. It's been a long time coming for this figure, and I'm finally happy to have it. Guys, I am a big fan of Strange Things, and I am excited for the new series, and all this new merch is just getting me more and more excited. But what are your thoughts on this awesome new Demogorgon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm your host, Super. I'll catch you in the next video, but until then, stay super.